Welcome back to the ranch. Dr. Uptown here, bringing you another 1911. This time it's a Springfield Armory. Going to do some modifications for rookie Sean on it, and in the process just do a general cleanup and see where we're at on our trigger poundage. We'll go ahead and start off with our normal teardown procedures. Removing our grips. We are going to replace these grips with a different grip. This particular one just happened to come with some wooden Colt grips. I'm going to be relieving rookie Sean of those grips, add them to my collection. For those of you that don't know, I've actually got more Colt 1911 grips than I have Colt 1911s. This is just the plain Jane GI model Springfield Armory, nothing particularly special. It's in 45 ACP. Start off by removing our mainspring housing. Our tension off that mainspring housing before we pop this pin all the way out. Once we've got that done, go ahead and remove our mainspring housing. Get us a parts towel over here to keep everything on until we get it all cleaned up. Okay, so after we've got the mainspring housing removed, the next step is going to be, well, what we're going to do ahead, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We're going to go ahead and remove the sliding barrel. I was shortcutting myself there unintentionally. Haven't cleaned your gun lately, have you? Like I say, this is an old series. This is an older Springfield. It's a Series 70. The newer ones are all Series 80. So once we've removed the slide in the barrel, next step is going to be to remove our thumb safety, which you just take it to the halfway point, pull it up, and there goes our plunger spring and pins. As always, Sean's found that. It's even got a kink in it, it still went flying. So that allows our grip safety to come out, allows our sear spring to come out. Then all we're left with is the hammer mechanism. So the hammer pin comes out, that removes the hammer. The sear pin comes out, that removes the sear anyway. The disconnector decided to stay in this time around. There's the disconnector out. And then we've got just simply our trigger and mag release in there. Like I say, this is an older Springfield. This is a one with a 4-digit serial number. So, quarter turn with that screw removes the mag release, and then our trigger comes out the back side. So we're going to dispatch with that trigger, that being what they would typically refer to as a short trigger, and the new trigger what they would refer to as the long trigger. You can see the difference there. We're just going to take this. Now, one thing I noticed when we got this trigger out of the package was it was pretty the trigger bow on it was pretty bent up, so we're going to just look and see what we need to do here to fit this trigger in. We will have to take a little bit off the top, it looks like, so we'll go back over to our bench and go from there. Okay, so continuing on, we've got our trigger all polished up. It's fitting real well into the frame now. We will go ahead and just buff out these channels. Somewhere I've got paper, sandpaper. There it is. Just polish out our channels for the trigger bow to go in and out of. It's 1000 grit sandpaper with my highly technical channel polishing tool. It's actually just a piece of oak that I cut just the width of the channel to go in there and break my sandpaper. That'll polish the channel up and take any high spots out. And then we're ready to insert our trigger into place. Fits in rather smoothly. We'll go ahead and go back in with our magazine release. Push that about 3/4 of the way out. It's just a quarter turn. That gets our magazine release set. Now, one of the things we're going to do is go ahead and check our magazine clearance. Like I say, when we got this, the bow was really mangled up. I believe we got her dropping nice and free. Looks like we're not got the trigger bow protruding out of the channel anywhere. So we're ready to go ahead and continue the assembly. As I always do, I'll show you how this sear and disconnector go in. Again, they set basically like that when you get ready to slide them in. They go into the frame like so, and then the trick is to get the pin to go through the holes. And sometimes I win and sometimes I don't. So we'll manipulate our parts. There we got the pin in. Okay, so we'll continue with our assembly now that we've got the clothes washing machine to quit spinning. Go ahead and install our sear spring in. Follow that up with our mainspring housing. Just put it in part way to hold the parts in place. So we went ahead and polished up our contact points on our hammer. We'll go ahead and install that in place. Put the hammer pin in. Once that's in place, run our hammer bow down, capture it with the mainspring housing. Go ahead and go to cock position so that we can install our grip safety. First thing we're going to do is put our plunger and plunger springs in. Go ahead and install our grip safety in. Install our thumb safety. Use our handy dandy Allen wrench, which I've lost. Little bitty lamp. Use the Allen wrench to push our plunger pin in and our safety in at the same time. That engages our trigger, locks our safety into place. We'll move the mainspring housing back up into position. Install our mainspring housing pin. Pop that into place. Just going to lightly touch this feed ramp. This is 1000 grit paper. We're using nothing but our finger. just to polish that up. Whatever you do not want to change the angle on that feed ramp whatsoever, but you do want it to be polished up. So now we've got that polished up, ready to go ahead and reinstall our barrel into the slide. This is an open spring on this particular one, so there's no need to set the spring in any particular orientation. Go ahead and put our barrel bushing on while we're at it. Lock that barrel into place. Head in with our housing spring. Line our barrel bushing up with our pin. Push our pin in place, and then we'll go through function checks here. Safety works. So we've got a reassembly complete now. Sean's got some fancy grips that we're going to put on. What these grips have is they've got a small washer that goes on the screws, just to keep them from digging into the material that these grips are made out of. They're made of a clear acrylic with a graphic on the back side of them. Give you some depth of field. They're called the dead man's hand grips. One side has the skeleton face. We'll show you those a little up close and personal here in a second. And the other side of the grips has the classic dead man's hand, aces and eights. One of the nice things with the 1911, there are so many aftermarket grips and such out there that you can really personalize the pistol to your taste. And these are some unique grips. I've never actually seen these particular ones before out there. I have seen the acrylic grips with the picture in the back, but I haven't actually seen these particular ones. They are really kind of sharp looking. There's the dead man's hand with the aces and the eights on the one side and the skull on the other side. So that completes our workover of the Springfield Armory 1911 and 45 ACP. Hope you guys find this interesting. We'll talk to you later, and you have a good day.